Taylor Swift is essentially the embodiment of the single white female. She's like the avatar, right? She's like the zeitgeist of single white women. Like she's like, it's like, remember that song by Shaka Khan, I'm every woman. Like literally Taylor Swift could remix that song and be like, I'm every single white woman. It's all in me. Like literally.
So I heard apparently Taylor Swift has gone under some heat recently. I'm not really sure what she did, and I honestly don't really fucking care that much. I mean, celebrity drama. I know Charlie Kirk had his 2 cents to say about her, but I mean, you know the guy, so his 2 cents is pretty much worthless, right? But yeah, apparently she got young girls to vote. At least that's what I heard from the Humanist Report, I think. Well, apparently that's a demographic that tends to vote a lot more left-leaning, so people are mad. But look, here's the thing, right? I'm one of the most right-leaning people. One of these right-wing principles we have to stand on is, if there's some significant group that disapproves of your governing style, you gotta change things up and adapt to those people if they are a key demographic. You can't just start attacking your voting base for disagreeing with you. That's just not how politics works. When you alienate your voting base, I mean look, that's why Trump won in 2016. He was like, all you forgotten people, nobody cares what you think, right? But I do. People love that shit. And in a democracy, the most strategical and moral way to win elections is to adapt to what they want, right? Well, earlier I came across this video from Todd Thinks called Single White Female, Why Taylor Swift is a Problem for Conservatism. Now at first I was confused because I thought, wait, so is Taylor Swift a conservative now? Like what the fuck is this shit? Because unless she's posing as one and your argument is her political advice isn't really conservative or whatever, like that's fair enough, right? But otherwise she doesn't even really do politics. But oh man, so this video is pretty much telling people that this demographic is, but fuck it, like let's just watch this video and talk about it as I go.
Taylor Swift is a political threat to the right. And there's a specific reason for that. And that's mostly because the single white female is actually the most robust, basically, opponent to the conservative movement in the United States at the time. I don't think we realize that. I don't think we understand how big of an obstacle the single white female population is to conservatism.
Wait, so single white women are bad for conservatism? Is it because that demographic has the most liberal positions?
But I want to draw your attention to an article. It says young women are much more liberal than young men.
Again, if that is the case, what do? You have to adapt to their demands because you have to adapt to the entire country's demands if you're running in that country and want to gain the support of the majority of people. Because again, in a democracy, if you want to be president, your main objective, morally and strategically speaking, should be to win over the majority of people.
And this focuses on young women 18 to 29, but it's also true for young women and young men of high school age. Young women are much more liberal than young men, but I want to talk about why. And the reason why is the unique design of women.
Oh man, the unique design of women. Here we go with this shit. Fuck yeah, dude.
And the reason why is the unique design of women. And no matter where you stand on the so-called gender, whether gender is a social construct, I know that's a narrative that the left is forwarding, but every time they try to do that, the reality of biology comes punching them in the face, and there is no escaping it.
Yeah, no clue what that has to do with anything. Like, no clue why you went on this random fucking tangent there, right? But since we're on the topic of science, the scientific literature agrees that gender dysphoria is real.
Taylor Swift is essentially the embodiment of the single white female. She's like the avatar. I'm every single white woman. It's all in me.
And I doubt you could reduce an entire demographic group to any one person because individuals are complex beings with ideas and political stances and experiences that range across the board. Like, bro, what the fuck is this shit?
Now, the left, of course, doing what they do. They're acting like this is some weird conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's called conjecture. It's called, prognosticating. And the left's got no room to be criticizing about supposed conspiracy theories because every so-called conspiracy theory in the last 2 years have come absolutely true and has been correct. So they should really shut up about that.
Every conspiracy has come true. Yeah, have we been replaced by immigrants yet? Have the Jews taken over the world? Has God ever came back to Earth? Do you really think he ever will, dude?
Every so-called conspiracy theory in the last 2 years have come absolutely true.
Have they taken your fridge and your microwave? Yeah, how about your microwave? Where the fuck is your microwave? They took that shit, right? You said so. I mean, the conspiracies, dude, they went through. Am I fucking right? Yeah, your microwave, that shit's fucking gone, right? They said they'd take it. That was the conspiracy theory. You don't have a fucking microwave, right? You fucking don't. Those are your words, not mine. If I ever come into your house for some fucking reason, because who knows what the world has ahead, right? Dude, if I ever come in here, better not see a fucking microwave, dude. You ever do a vlog? Better not see that shit. Oh, and how about Alex Jones, right? The conspiracy guy? The fucking father of right-wing conspiracies? Yeah, how about his most famous conspiracy theory? You know, the one that he's having to pay a lot of money for? Was that fucking true? Yeah, the Sandy Hook thing. Did that never happen? How did that fucking go for him in court, dude? Did he fucking prove your point or mine?
And while they're also being told that abortion is their birthright.
Yeah, right, of course, because some people, you know, they just abort their baby because Taylor Swift said so. Like, that's just how white women are. Their idol said they could do something if they want to, but all they want is to make their idol proud, and they thought about it. Turns out that's just the best they could come up with. Maybe they should have put a little bit more thought into it, but that's what a husband's here for, right? But they don't have that shit because Taylor Swift, dude, just the worst influence ever, right? Like, come on, you just leave them without supervision and that's what you fucking get, dude. Like, white women these days, am I right? We need more logical people like you who understand women. I sort of wonder if this guy's single or not, but yeah, I don't even know why I'm wondering that, actually.
Let's take a step back to understand female psychology, female biology, and their ability to nurture. Let's just think about this.
This guy knows women better than women know women. Better than fucking Trump knows women, dude. This guy's the expert of this shit.
What the left has done has weaponized feminine nurturing and feminine energy against us, against our society. Let's just think about the single white female and what is probably most important to them given the spirit of the age. They basically worship at the altars of abortion, right? These women think it is their birthright to kill their children for any reason on demand.
Yeah, they think it's their right to kill children. Oh my fuck, dude. Again, Roe v. Wade isn't new. The termination of Roe v. Wade is new. So this logic isn't some new epidemic of wokeness that's like just started while the wise people like you are coming in to give their 2 cents on it and save the day before the left ruins everything and it's too late. Yeah, you're already behind because that epidemic started in 1973 before you were even born. You missed that shit. Now they're going by the logic that's again not new either. And you're going by the feeling over fact life starts at conception bullshit. And by that logic, you could just as well say that swallowing is fucking murder, since the potential argument, which is the only coherent argument suggesting that a pack of cells, like your sperm or pack of cells in a woman's body, right, is comparable to a being that actually exists and has value outside of its potential to exist and have value. Yeah, but the problem with that argument is that it actually extends to the sperm itself, because if you were conceived, that implies that before conception you had the potential to be conceived. So there's no reason why potential should be assumed to start at conception, if that's what we're valuing and equating to actual concrete human life, which I think is already fucking retarded to begin with. Also, if you're going to go with this shit of, well, they already made their choice, they chose to fuck, so they chose a kid, don't tell me these motherfuckers are so stupid they still don't know how babies are made at the age where they're fucking fertile. I knew that shit at like 5, like, come on. Yeah, you're right, but you're also wrong. You see, you're right if you're going to say these people are fucking stupid, but these people do exist, and there's the proof for you. But with this in mind, so what are we dealing with exactly? People who are so dumb they legit accidentally had a kid because they were a grown-ass retard who didn't know how babies were made? So do you think a child is better off with someone like them? Do you think that person is better off with a child? That person can clearly barely handle themselves. That's a big enough load on their shoulders, right? Yeah, so are we going to give a retard a kid? Do you think that's gonna help families by not filtering such shit out when all parties want it to be this way? Like, again, some people are stupid, and since there's no victim, which I know you disagree with that, but I already debunked it, so whatever, but since there's no victim, what the fuck is the argument against improving people's lives, dude?
These women are being discouraged from marriage, or at least delaying marriage and childbearing, which, as a side note, would make them much happier. Just saying, just putting that out there. They want to pursue careers. They're becoming more and more independent from men, and this is what's being encouraged.
Okay, so letting people know that they have the choice not to marry as soon as they start getting to venture out into the real world because they're out of school. Letting people know that, hey, no pressure, go at your own pace because this is your choice to make. It's a free country. Maybe don't go raise a kid and teach them how life works before you've even had time to experience life yourself, if that sounds more appealing to you. Yeah, that discourages people from living freely and making whatever decision fits their life best. Like, should we encourage more people to have kids even if they don't want to at an age that doesn't suit them? Should we encourage them to take on a burden they're not ready for at an early age when the task at hand is probably the most important one they could ever have? And we're gonna turn this task into a joke because of fucking tradition, dude? Are you serious? A task that is the outcome of a human life at the bottom of it? Is that really the best idea, dude? Come on.
They're also basically being developed as 304s, as the OnlyFans culture and pornography runs rampant. The women are legitimately thinking that basically sexualizing themselves is a solid career move. And there are a lot of women who have very lax standards for sexuality. They're sleeping around. And then they think, hey, well, if I get pregnant, I can just kill my child. This is all bad. This is all bad.
Yeah, whatever you say, dude. I know you're coming from a place of wisdom in the spirit of keeping America great or whatever. I fuck with your cause, right? But yeah, people in general being encouraged to be independent in a country that revolves around the American dream is not a bad thing. Also, porn doesn't influence the lives of most people because most people have better things to do. Like, bro, what the fuck is this shit? Like, do you think Americans, if you just give them freedoms, they turn into fucking degenerates? Like, bro, what planet are you fucking on? This guy's wisdom only goes so far. Like, what the fuck is this? This just ain't it, dude.
In order for women to be highly attuned to their children, women have to be highly attuned and empathetic to the pain of others, to the suffering of others, much more than men are. We tend not to be as in tune with the cries and the suffering of other people. Well, it's interesting because the left has exploited that. They've exploited this natural phenomenon and this natural tendency of women, because what is the left's mantra, right? The left's mantra is supposedly compassion for the oppressed and the downtrodden, right?
Well, okay, let me ask you this. Which position sounds more compassionate? Trying to get people to never get to experience their own lives and freedoms? Not get to grow up and mature before raising someone that requires experience to raise properly? So removing women's independence and removing the condition in the family of the kid is wanted because otherwise that's unhealthy for the kid. Does that sound more compassionate than let people live their lives and make sure people who are going to be parents are going to be in a good condition to be able to raise children properly for the parents and kids' sake? Come on, bro, tell me.
There's the cries for justice. We use that term, kind of metaphorically, with the cries for justice. But cries are cries, right? There's the cry of a child. There's the cry for justice in a metaphorical sense, in a sense of society and understanding the weak and the strong and all of that stuff. And that sort of narrative, even if it isn't necessarily true, women are much more likely to respond to that. Women are much more likely to default to taking the side of the person who they perceive to be in pain, who they perceive to be suffering. Why? Because that's what a woman is supposed to do.
Yeah, that's why women are at the southern border in Texas trying to keep the border safe because they don't get that it's not their job, am I right? But yeah, guess what? These cries are coming from them because they're the supposed victim. And if there are cries about your own victimhood and you're not a victim, I don't think that shit still sticks together, right? But who do you think is in the most vulnerable position in a situation where you've got a child who doesn't get how babies are made and that's how they accidentally got a child? Because they're fucking stupid and are a child themselves. They were actually naive enough to think it wouldn't happen or whatever, and they can either backpedal because it's not too late. The potential was always there because the situation fucking happened, right? But now there's the potential to either remove the pack of cells before it becomes somebody who can actually become a victim, say of having parents that can't love them because that child is their punishment for being stupid instead of being their choice. Either you don't give a child who can't even make their own decisions the burden of having to raise someone else to make their own right decisions when they themselves have a a long way to go by evidence of the situation. So you have a dumb fuck whose one-time mistake might destroy their lives while they're still learning to not be a dumb fuck, which they can't do anymore because the role of learning has just prematurely become that of teaching and caregiving. So you have that, and you have someone who didn't even have anything to do with any of this because they weren't born yet, who's gonna have to live in a world where they aren't wanted and their parents can't take care of them because they're a dumb fuck child as well. And we could just avoid all of that, but that's not gonna happen because Clarence Thomas says so. Yeah, who comes off as the vulnerable victim in all of this? Who suffers more? But tell me that shit.
No child is ugly to their mother, right? Right. But more specifically, even when a child has done the wrong thing, and even when they don't actually deserve grace, and when they don't deserve mercy, and when they don't deserve, when they've behaved badly, a mother is still going to protect her child because she's not thinking about what needs to happen from a justice standpoint. She's thinking about what needs to happen from a nurturing standpoint, from a covering standpoint. And every child needs that because every person is going to make a lot of mistakes during their upbringing.
Okay, well, I guess we just cracked the code of why women are pro-choice then. Because some of them might have a daughter and they wouldn't want their daughter's mistakes to cost them their future. Yeah, understandable. You make the case spectacularly. Dude, there's still a little bit of wisdom in you, man. I believe you are destined for better opinions one day. Just never give up, man. Please, your videos are fucking dope. Keep this shit up.
These women haven't lost their desire to nurture. They haven't lost that impulse. But because these women tend to age and they tend to delay childbearing and they don't have their own children to direct that nurturing towards. As a matter of fact, psychologically, our culture has caused women to think of their children as some sort of parasite.
Our culture has taught women to see children as parasites. Oh, really, dude? Okay. Do you think a woman is more or less likely to see their child that way if they got to choose to have a child or if this child is enforced upon them? Are parasites usually of your choosing? Because if you're pro-choice, you by definition want to remove the parasite aspect of this. And yeah, younger people are more self-centered, so they're more likely to concentrate on themselves before their child because they themselves have yet to live life because at 20 you haven't lived yet. Yeah, which sense actually endorses that belief about kids.
And it's, for example, the reason why we see a lot more engagement in political activism when people become less religious. Well, when you take away something as important and as natural and as because we were designed to worship, when you take away religious devotion, people don't lose that impulse to participate in concepts that are metaphysical and larger than them in principle. They just redirected. They just end up being redirected in their kind of worship, so to speak, in their adoration of certain causes. It becomes literally they become like religious, just in a political sense. I like the way Vivek Ramaswamy puts it. He talks about COVIDism, racism, all the isms, environmentalism. People they don't get rid of their religious impulses. They just adopt new ones that tend to take on a religious posture.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure these people just realize that God's not going to save them, so they're putting facts ahead of feelings and pulling themselves by their bootstraps. They're finally listening to the conservative advice, and you're still mad because whatever, of course you are. Also, Vivek literally said in his book that Trump's January 6th was despicable and horrible for our country. Yet he's still endorsing that exact person because there is a cult-like base around that person who so happens to be our party's by far most popular candidate, who's treating politics as a religion. Also, by the way, if you didn't know how I make these videos, I make them with the maximum fucking laziness, right? So I just, find videos like this and comment on them while I'm just high as fuck, about to go to bed at nighttime, right? And I'm just on my bed responding to shit while just smoking my weed, sipping my liquor, all that stuff. But yeah, I just leave comments and then I fucking just, look back at them and structure them. But dude, I actually left this very last one and I actually got a reply. And it reads, dude, I'm sorry, but this is nonsense. For religious people on the right, it's generally true that politics are a derivative of their religious convictions, because many on the left are secular and have no religious convictions. Their political views are, in effect, their religious convictions. See the nutjob environmentalist throwing soup at the Mona Lisa as Exhibit A? fucking okay, dude. I don't really care. Also, every leftist treats Trump like he's the devil despite having objectively better circumstances under his presidency. This is tantamount to religious delusion, hence Exhibit B. I could do this all day. Dude, I'm sure you could. But I don't think Trump was great on policy either. But having no religious convictions doesn't mean your ideological beliefs and worldviews become your religion. Those can still be based on objective facts and observations. Whoever those people are do not represent the majority of the left. Just like the marches in Charlottesville with the Jews will not replace us, yeah, those don't represent the majority of the right. People just like to look to the extremes to make their points because those are louder, but they don't make up the majority. That's why it's called the loud minority. They do that shit. And then the loud minority on the other side, like Matt Walsh, is gonna fucking cover that shit. And they're gonna have the insane loud minority takes on it. It's like always how this shit works, right? But like stuff like this, yeah, that happens a bit of all the time. Like some statues gonna be broken, someone's fucking mad and they didn't forgot to take their medication. Dude, people are retards. Like I heard in big cities, shit like this happens a lot. Just fucking retards being retards. Like crimes and all, insane shit. Dude, this isn't really news. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, I guess. I really want to start making better content and make it more frequently. But yeah, I think putting Minecraft in the background, that's definitely a fucking plus, because it allows me to do these videos a lot faster. But yeah, I hope y'all have enjoyed this video, and I will be seeing y'all next time. Peace!